Hi guys, my name is Katie Zimmerman. I am currently in be starting my 6th year of teaching. My husband and I have been married for 2 years. We have a 7-month-old daughter and 2 dogs. We currently live in our hometown. My husband and I, we went to high school together. We left, went to college, and then about 10 years later, we ended up back in Great Bend. I have a bachelor's in speech language pathology from K-State, and then I have my master's in special education from University of Missouri, Kansas City. I currently am the interrelated resource teacher at an elementary school. I am employed through the co-op, which is the Barton County Special Services Co-op. I have students grades K through 6. I have Last year I had one of every single grade plus 2 in kindergarten, so that's always interesting. We're so spread out. In my classroom, my students are in my room all day long. I have 2 paras. Next year we'll be adding a third. My students are at least 2 to 3 years behind grade level. I have some students who have autism or Down syndrome, visually impaired, or anything in between, and some have multiple disabilities. So they keep me on my toes. I believe it's important for school and community relations, just for the fact that a school is such an important part of the community. I know that Great Bend had some hiccups in the last couple years, and just seeing how all that was handled is just once again a reminder of how important it is to communicate with the community and to be open and honest. A few ways to improve some of my communication techniques is I would love to have like a monthly newsletter that went home to all of my parents. Unfortunately, some of my parents themselves might struggle to read or write. And so it's trying to find that fine line of what works for all of my parents and how I can communicate with them consistently. Last year was my first year in this position. Prior to that, I'd always been at a middle school level. So it was more working with the students themselves and how to communicate things to them as opposed, and also their parents. But now that it's elementary level, it's more the parents as opposed to relaying important information to the students. This past year, I wrote in the agenda that they take home every single day, whether it be, hey, quick reminder, Sally needs more lunch money, or if it was, hey guys, today we did this and it went great, or behavior notes or anything like that. Which was great. And then I would have the parents sign it, so then I knew that they at least read it, and then they would communicate back through there. I also rely heavily on phone calls home. This past year, I had to go through a sibling as opposed to the parent because the parent and I didn't speak the same language. So that was interesting, working through a translator and getting all that information to mom and dad. As for admin, I have worked in 3 different districts, so with 4 different principals, and it's always interesting to see how you have to change how you communicate with your administration. For example, the principal that I work for right now is super awesome, and he prefers just dropping in. If you have something to tell him, if you want to, troubleshoot something, just step in. And if you need to send him a reminder or something, just shoot him a text. He's super relaxed on communicating, which has been really nice. Otherwise, sometimes I've worked with principals that are, they only want things via email and, on our Google Calendar, if you have an IEP meeting or something like that, they want those reminders, and then they want the, another email that day or whatever. So I think with administration, it's just whatever they prefer. But I'm excited to take this course and learn more about community relationships. Thanks.